I think I really worked through some issues.
Definitely familiar with the title. Like Sandman kind of is pervasive in certainly in kind of the arts culture in where I come from. I sort of knew some of the iconography, the images of Morpheus, but until they started the casting process and first approached me, I hadn't read it. But for a variety of reasons, the casting process took about 8 months, within which time I had the opportunity to read all 2,500 pages of it over and over again, and became not only a fan, but like an obsessive, rabid, ravenous, sort of slightly unhinged fan. I care about it so much. And when I finally got the opportunity to be a part of it, I was magnificently proud.
I wasn't as familiar with Sandman. I've heard of the Sandman, but I wasn't a fan, I would say. I mean, I am now a real fan. But when I got the audition, I actually auditioned first for Unity Kincaid. And I was like, how's that going to work? She's about 70-something, so I'm not offended, but hey. And then I got a recall for Lucienne. And then just delving into that world, I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Where have I been? Because these stories are incredible and I'm obsessed, because what we all have in common is that we dream. And I'm actually someone that is quite obsessive about my dreams. I write them down. They mean a lot to me. I try to interpret them. So being a part of this, for me, is very special, because I don't think there's any other literature like it. It's just so rich and so exquisite and so deep. And for me, because I've watched it as well now, it's just made me question a lot. Things that you think you're watching something, or, you know, and then you question it, and you question yourself as a person, and you delve a bit deeper into your feelings and your thoughts and your unconscious mind. So I just think it's incredible.
I didn't know about the Sandman beforehand. So before I knew that I got the role, I had read some of it. Not all of it, because I wanted to wait until I was sure that I had the role before I could like really dig into Rose and get too excited about it. So I didn't know much. So I was reading it as a newcomer, and I haven't read many comics before, many like Western comics. So it was just, you know, a nice, I approached it as a reader, as a new fan.
I didn't know much either, actually. But this is how you know people are going to love it, because we were both converted into the world. And this is why I'm excited, because if you don't know, and then obviously suddenly you read, and it's so exciting. So it's amazing for it to come on screen finally.
I think there's a lot of people that are going to be talking about episode 6 of the series. Patton Oswalt already tweeted that he's watched it twice. What was it like finding the beauty in the character of Death, something that we typically see, you know, so much darker?
Yeah. For me, it actually was quite a therapeutic role, actually, because I spent so long looking and examining death, and it's a thing that typically we all spend so much time avoiding. It's sort of like in our peripheral, but we pretend we can't see it. So I got a chance to not only reread The Sandman and go back to the source material, but also to do my research about death, and in the way it is, not only the way it is comes about, but the way it's dealt with in different cultures and throughout time. And it is completely different. So for me, that was really, really exciting, really liberating. And I think that being able to show the more gentle and more nurturing side of death is something that I think will honor the existing fans, because they know that from reading the comic, but will be something that is surprising to people who have no idea what the Sandman is and just come because it's this epic quest that they've heard about. And, you know, that's really exciting to get new fans.
There's a battle in episode 4 that I think is one of the coolest and most original takes on a fight scene in recent memory. Can you talk about filming that scene with Tom and finding that intensity in that awesome scene?
I loved shooting that scene. I love shooting that scene with Tom. You know, it was a bit of a daunting prospect, because obviously it's not in the comics that Lucifer takes the challenge. So this was new. This is what Neil wanted. Alan was really excited about it. I was aware that there would be VFX. So whilst the set and hell, my palace is extraordinary, but there's a certain amount of VFX involved. So really, you're reliant on your fellow actor and reliant on the exchange that happens between you. And Tom was just astounding. From the second I met him, he did take my breath away, because he was like, as Dream realized and made flesh. And he was very serious about the role. I was very serious about what I was doing. I was also quite anxious to make it good, but it was seamless, because when it came to the battle, something just occurred. And I think it's because it was during the pandemic, so there was a lack of kind of contact with other people anyway. We were all isolated. But in that room together, I think the director, Jamie Childs, created this lighting state that felt so hallucinogenic. The pair of us we just connected fully. And he's a very respectful and hugely skilled actor, but because the relationship was very safe, we were able to push it wherever we wanted it to go. And I'm very aware, as someone who has spent what feels like a lifetime doing hardcore physical fight scenes, that what was exciting for me was for this to be a psychological battle. And I think I really worked through some issues.
Love to hear it. Yeah, no, it was amazing. Vanesu, this is your first major role, the first of many, I'm sure. What was that experience like for you, and what was one of the biggest lessons you're taking away from this?
Yes, it was a great experience. So much to learn, so much to see, so much to absorb. I think my biggest lesson was actually more outside of acting, but still related to it, was just to pace myself and to take care of myself, because it was my first experience, having whole scripts to especially my character was just all over, the scripts in our episodes. So learning how to digest all of that, in a way that is sustainable for the show, and learning how to pace myself and take care of myself so that I can be the best performer whilst I'm on set. That's, I think, the biggest thing that I learned.
My final question here, a hard-hitting one. Morpheus has an incredible potty mouth companion in Matthew the Raven, voiced by Patton Oswalt. If you personally had an animal companion voiced by a celebrity, what would that animal be, and who would that celebrity be?
Wow.
Oh, that's such a good question. Oh my God. And who would voice it? Oh my God.
My animal would be a pangolin. And
Okay.
it would be voiced by Viola Davis.
Oh God, I don't know. I'm going to keep it basic and say a dog.
What kind of dog? Give us a breed.
I mean, can I say my dog?
Okay.
Basically, you've triggered me, right? Because I want my dog to speak. So I'm going to say a cavapoo. Who do I want my dog to sound like? Oh my goodness. Oh God. I can't. Tom. I want my dog to sound like Tom.
That is so specific.
I love this question. Oh my God.
I have not thought about it. I guess I'm thinking about it now. I've never thought of having an animal companion. I will say I love animals, and if possible, I would love to be the queen of all the animals, and I would love them to just love me. So I would probably go for a lion or some kind of big animal that I could just ride on. That would be fun. And if it was voiced by someone, now that's a tough one because I don't know who.
I would pick a cat, but also I'm struggling to pick who. Like my head's like, who's gonna be the cat? So someone funny.
Yeah, some I think it would be kind of random if The Rock was voicing my line.
Love it. I love it. I can see it. I can
steal
see it.
that one too?
We'll get him on. We'll get him on the phone.
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.